What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is the host of the Buzzing with Marlowe's podcast, and I am yours truly, Warren Marlowe. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you like, share, most importantly, subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay in contact with all our platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, SmackChat, all that. We are there. Let's say it again. We are there. That's right, guys. Then you can check us on all audio platforms as well. Just to name a few: Google Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, Podvine, Good Pods, all Apple platforms as well. Anywhere you get your audio podcasts, we are there. All right, guys. Man, it is Friday. It means it's Buzzing with Marlowe Day. It's a new week, new time. I'm looking kind of nice right now. I've been putting in a little bit more effort into the gym, a little bit more than I used to. But yes, man, it's Friday. What a week. My quick little dad rant real quick. My daughter's been on spring break, which I love spending time with her and stuff like that. But I am looking forward to her going back to school. Love my daughter to death. I mean, oh my goodness. But obviously we got to chat with my son earlier this week. He's doing really well. I want to thank everyone for the messages asking how he's doing. It's really, really touching and sweet. But yeah, man, he's doing well. He's excited for his birthday coming up in April. So that's the biggest thing that he's planning on right now. But guys, we got a big episode for you planned out today. We've got a great recording, great chat. And obviously he's waiting in the back. But first, guys, I want to talk about the ones that paid the bills. First and foremost, that's right, guys, cheaper than a can. I'm telling you, man, if you want to replace the energy drinks, go to the website, w.gg. Go in there. They have awesome selections of so many items, man. As you can see, the variable flavors that are there right now, that push and punch, man, that one will give you a real good knockout. Obviously, the best one, the cream, Cali Cream, the Push and Punch, Passionate Tea. That one is super good. I just had that one. Oh my goodness, that one is super good. But guys, if you want to just try it out, if you're not sure what flavors, you can get a starter pack, a sample, and they give you 3 samples to go with it. Get you hats, get you some stickers. If you're NASCAR fans, type in the promo code BUZZ20, capital B, to get 10% off of your purchase. If you want to go away from that crazy energy from the coffee, the caffeine levels and all that, hit up W, because they will give you that cheerless energy needs. Obviously, guys, we have a lot of stuff that we've got going on. Obviously, we got to talk about my shop, the clothing line that's really nice. I'm talking about bonfire / Buzzing with Marlowe. As you could tell right here, we have got Mr. Red, White, and Blue items sent to you. That's right. Woo! We have 4 different selections from the bonfire shop. I know people have been requesting, so we got that cartoonish look for your t-shirt needs. And of course, you can get a hoodie, a long sleeve, a v-neck. Right now, we don't have tank tops for the American Prodigy line right now. I apologize. I'm a little bit more upset about it because I like to wear tank tops. But obviously, we also have the real big line that I'm very well passionate about, and that's every setback makes one heck of a comeback. If you ever felt like you needed to overcome challenges that are just feeling like they're overburdened, like overbearing over you right now, this shirt is definitely a great selection for it. You have every type of item of shirt you can do, even tank tops as well. I'm waiting for mine to order in right now, but that's also the specialty of this shirt is they actually have stuff on the back. It has our great season 5 morphing into season 5 logo, has all the platforms that we are always listened on and stuff like that. So guys, go in there and get you one of those shirts. It's the ones that overcome those battles that you go through each and every day. And of course, guys, we have our season 5 logo. Took a little bit of coloring, I'm not going to lie, so it does have to be a little bit of an extra price, but it's an awesome quality shirt. I have mine. It's an amazing comfortable shirt. I like all the long sleeves and the tank tops. Those are the main ones I'm going for, and obviously the hoodies. I love hoodies. But definitely go in there, check it out. Go to bonfire/buzzing with Marlowe, type in the promo code BUZZ20, capital B, BUZZ20, and you will get 10% off of your purchase. Shout out to Bonfire. Also, you can get your hats. So many selection. Those are the ones that are just go off the shelf all the time. That's why I keep reminding people, we have t-shirts. We have t-shirts, guys. But if you want a hat, go and get your hat. Type in the promo code BUZZ20 and you get 10% off of your purchase. And of course, guys, April is literally on the radar, which is a lot of stuff going on with April. If you're a pro wrestling fan, even if you're a WWE fan or just a Rock, Cody Rhodes, whatever, WrestleMania is that month. I'm super ecstatic just for everything that's going on in the card. Obviously, next week we're going to be on Commission Talks doing our WrestleMania predictions. But guys, speaking of wrestling, I want to talk about the guest I have today, guys. My guest is 5-Star Jobber's own co-host. He's part co-host. That's right, guys. I'm talking about the one, the only Kody Madden. That's right, guys. Kody Madden, 5-Star Jobbers podcast. One half of them, man. This is going to be an awesome chat, man. They're a pro wrestling podcast. Still, they're growing, insanely growing. Shout out to them. They went in, and the one thing that I take a lot of respect from Kody and his friend and his partner John, man, they hitting the roads. They're hitting the roads. They're traveling to wrestling promotions. Ring announcing for him, commentating for him, and Kody even took a chair shot. We're gonna talk about that. Talk about the day and everything that went with that. So, guys, we're not gonna waste any more time. When the countdown goes 30-1 after our commercial break, we will be joined with Kody Madden. And ladies and gentlemen, that starts in 3, 2, 1, right now. Y'all enjoy. This is going to be a good one. Yeah.
Have you always aspired to be a professional wrestler? Do you think you have what it takes to step through these ropes and take your place among the immortals? Well, now you have an opportunity. Join us at the DCCW training facility at Harvest Ministries in McClenny, Florida. There you will be put to the test and challenged like you have never been challenged before. If you think you have what it takes, prove it to the world, but most importantly, prove it to yourself.
Spend time with your family?
Sure I do.
Good.
People, what's good? What's happening? What's going on? Yo, it's me, Brian B. That's right, and I'm telling you guys to head on over to YouTube today and make sure you subscribe to the Beeline Entertainment LLC. Check us out. We all over the What you sacrificing first?
Nah, that
They
question
ain't getting in my house. Shit.
Come on now. They come with the fame,
Get in my house.
the money,
Yeah, that's
success. Who are you sacrificing first? Which one of your family members got to go?
a no-go, man.
And what you said earlier, you went too far. Yeah. We'll cross
Come
the
on,
line.
man. We all get that one cousin. No, we all get that.
Yeah.
I'm sitting his ass in the front line first.
You got. Hey, if they got that, they don't need that. They need to go away.
Coming on, and if y'all ask me who I'm sacrificing, I got one damn cousin. Like I always say, God bless you. Peace.
right, guys, we are back, and I'm joined with 5-star jobbers on Kody Madden. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be here and be on your podcast. I'm excited for what we got in store.
Yeah, man. Botching and fumbling and flips and all of that. Hey, but we are here. But man, how's it been going, man? Like you just said, I'm a big fan of your stuff. I like what y'all bring. For the short amount of time that y'all have had, like, my goodness, dude, y'all are shaking some numbers, man, and y'all are hitting the towns. Like I even said behind the camera, man. How does it feel to hit the road and not be sore?
it's crazy, honestly. I mean, thank you so much for being a fan of what we do, and it's crazy to think that just in the short time we've been doing this podcast or just been in the business for less than a year, it's still mind-blowing to me to see the progress that we've made and the people that we've been able to interact throughout this whole process of building this podcast. Like, if you had told me a year ago that I'd be sitting at a table doing commentary next to the Powers of Pain or being able to shake hands with Nikita Koloff, I would have looked at you like you had lost your mind. And so just the opportunities we've gotten from being able to do this podcast and being able to do commentary for different promotions, it's been absolutely insane.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. And especially because y'all are picking. I mean, obviously, y'all talk about the main products, WWE, AEW, MLW, stuff like that. But you're bringing presentation to the independents. And that's huge for wrestling because it's insane to say it now. Independent wrestling has been out for so long. I remember when I got into independent wrestling, all I knew of when I was younger, people could, I'm pretty sure, will probably knock on my door and burn my jerseys now, is I only knew of WWE. I only knew of WCW.
Yeah, same. I honestly didn't know about independent wrestling until I got into my 20s. Like, I had no idea that there was local shows going on.
You should have saw me in my training camp when people found out that I said all I knew was WWE. I was like, oh, WCW. Looked at me and said, are you insane? Like, you ain't watched New Japan. You ain't done this.
Yeah.
And then they gave me the Pro Wrestling Insider. And obviously, I'm seeing all these independent promotions. I'm seeing all these different things. And then obviously my trainer, he told me, he's like, I want you to pick out a couple of those and tell me what fits you. And then obviously watch 80s wrestling, mix that up, and that's what we can go with. And I don't joke about it all. I do. The only way I knew of TNA was I was watching 1,000 Ways to Die, and it just happened to come on the screen after it. So, I mean,
yeah.
That's the true statement, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
1,000 Ways to Die. Oh, AJ Styles is on. Oh, Bubba Ray. Oh, Bully Ray.
Yep.
Okay.
Like, oh, wait, Abyss is on. Or, oh, there's Jeff
Hardy. Willow.
Yeah.
Who's Willow? Like, all these different people. Like, it was just really cool. And then the biggest thing that got me into watching TNA was I was a big fan of AJ Styles, but Kurt Angle. His entrance, I was like, oh, it's 10 times better than what it was in WWE. Like,
right.
Where was this? Christian's a heavyweight champ? Like, huh?
Yeah.
But it's crazy to see that introduction. Like I tell people, man, I watched 1,000 Ways to Die, and TNA just popped on the screen. And I got hooked watching it.
Right.
I mean, so it's like, watching this stuff, and then obviously me getting into wrestling and seeing the New Japan and stuff. I didn't really like the New Japan style. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still getting used to the clock timer when they do the matches and the way that they scorecard it. It's like watching a kickboxing fight type scenario. Right. So it's like something different. It's just not my flavor. And then obviously now we got AEW. New Japan in the U.S. audience. That's how I see it. Other than the clock.
Yeah. That's essentially what it is right now.
But all right, so I do want to go dial back a little bit. So Kody, so obviously the 5-star jobbers, you do have a co-host as well. So obviously when y'all were putting this podcast together and this whole visual that y'all had of it, what was the biggest meaning that y'all wanted out of this? Like, what was the main purpose to do this show, and what were y'all really trying to make it to where's it's growing? Have y'all always expected it to got that way, or it's like, wow, we are really a lot quicker, and I feel like I need to buckle my seatbelt a little bit faster.
Well, the thing was, like, in the beginning phases of it, it was just a way for us to be able to talk about our passion of professional wrestling. Like, we never imagined that we would get to the point where we're at now, where we're going to all these different independent promotions and getting to meet all these people. And so in the beginning, it was mostly just us having conversations back and forth, and we would occasionally bring on a guest or two that we had met at a show that we had been previously. But then as we started to gain more notoriety and started to gain more followers, then we started to go to all these different promotions. And then we just decided, why don't we try and go and do commentary sometime? Or why don't we try that out? Because, I mean, we've already got a good banter back and forth between me and John, because it's always, I don't want to say yin and yang between the two of us, because we do have some similarities and things that we agree on. And then we also have things that we disagree on. But that just adds to the banter, and that just adds to our back and forth. And sometimes it can be comedic, and sometimes it's just us disagreeing in general. But just from there, being able to go to all these different promotions and do commentary. When we did a commentary episode at Hope Championship Wrestling, then getting to meet Nikita Koloff, and then from there going to SRCW, and then from there going to DCCW. And it's just been one thing after the other, and it's just led to us being able to have these opportunities where we're going to all these different promotions, doing commentary, and now we're starting to get bookings to do commentary or getting bookings to do ring announcing. And so it's still mind-blowing to me to see that just from that first episode that we've done to now, the progress that we've made. I still can't believe that we're in this position.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. And I remember when we first met, and I remember, shout out to Miss Vanessa Pender, Steve Pender, they were telling me that obviously you're doing a podcast, that y'all were just growing on this podcast at the time. Y'all were just coming. That was one thing I did get respect, and I definitely always, and this is something I always look at. I always want to help grow somebody that puts commitment and do these things to put in their craft. And when I looked at your business card and the way y'all were telling stuff, like y'all were only audio at the time, so
right.
Y'all weren't on the video perspective. Y'all are now just 10 episodes now on the video, right?
Yeah. So season 1, we just kind of did all audio, but then going into season 2 at the start of this year, that's when we started to implement implement video. We tried to do video like a while ago, but a lot of things going on with that, and a lot of things I had to learn as far as like video editing that
it's a pain. It
is a pain. Yeah. And so still trying to learn the in and outs of that. And I'm still nowhere near a professional. I just do what I can with what I know. And I'm still learning as we continue to go through this process. But
yeah, man.
Yeah. Just the whole process of video editing, like it's fun, but at the same time, it is a task in itself.
It's funny when we publish the episode and it's like, I literally don't want to hear it again. Like, at that point, it's
I'm that way with video and audio. Like, I hate hearing myself talk or anything. I hate looking at myself because I look back and I'm like, why do we have this many viewers? Like, why would they watch me or why would they listen to my voice?
You sound like me when I first did the audio.
Garbage.
I listened back. Oh, what was it? Because obviously, shout out to Facebook. Facebook always has to do, hey, this memory thing, whatever. So I listened to my first ever episode. I looked at myself and said, why did anyone even try to even thought about pressing that play button? You hear the echo, you hear the word, you hear my fan going on in the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is the most unprofessional thing I've ever thought I could ever do. And I'm like, it was over 100 plays. I'm like, who did that?
Right. Exactly. It's crazy, but just the whole process of going through from audio and putting into video, it's definitely gotten us on a different platform and gotten us a lot more notoriety. And so it's been a blessing, but at the same time, it's also been a curse.
Mm-hmm. More progress you get, the more busier you got to be. And
Exactly.
I mean, busy's always good at sometimes. As long as you're having fun, you're enjoying what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
This podcast thing, I have had my growing pains all around. This is my therapy at times, but this is also like a clarity thing. Like, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy it. I would not have paid XYZ for a microphone or looked at these little advertisements and looked at which one works for me. I've had to learn how to say no a lot more in podcasting now, because obviously when you first start, you're like, yeah. No.
Right.
That doesn't fit the show at all. I cannot advertise that.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely.
My first season, man, I advertised everything. Yeah, man, put your band on, do this. Like, it's like, listen back, I'm like, man, that one should have been a no. That one didn't have no meaning to the podcast as well.
Right.
So it's just like, you do have your growing pains. And I loved when you was talking about you hate hearing yourself talk, because I get to that point so much. But my kids, man, this is the one thing that motivates me, especially with the wrestling realm, was when my kids get the reaction when they watch these shows or when they see me perform and stuff like that. It's like they look forward to it. Like on Fridays, my kids know when Daddy's show comes on it, and they're watching it like it's a Saturday morning cartoon type scenario. And they cheer when Daddy's entrance song is on, and it's just really cool. And I mean, obviously now I've had to trim a lot of the episodes now that my kids like to watch them. So it's like, not that one. You can't watch that one on Wednesdays.
Exactly.
No.
That's why I'm trying to keep our show PG and trying to keep everything to where now I've told John, and I probably should have never told him this. Like, whenever I figure out how to put a censor on the show, then he can just let rip. So I'm still working on it and not sure when it's going to come, but we'll see.
Hey, man, I got a lot of respect for a lot of people when I listen to Stone Cold's podcast. He has the one where he's edited completely, and I'm just like amazed, like, wow, he only said, damn, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he has this audio all access one, and then that's where you just hear full Stone Cold on the. I was like,
yep.
I remember when I listened to that one, I was just like, I don't know who cusses more, him or The Rock. Like, I feel like that's just their natural language.
Yeah.
Everybody's like complaining, like, oh, Rock swears too much. I think that's his normal talk.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like him changing anything. He's a great guy, but that man's got a potty mouth if you want to hear him.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, it's just really cool just to see that. Obviously, you just want to see where you're going to translate with the audiences. So, I'm sorry. Obviously, doing the wrestling podcast and stuff like that. So, obviously, from the growing pains, from the audio perspective, what were some of the things that y'all knew for a fact that y'all had to improve from season 1 to where y'all are now?
I mean, the biggest thing that we just had to improve on was just like wanting to better the quality of it, because like I said in the beginning, whenever we were doing audio, it was just us sitting around a little Yeti mic, feeding it through GarageBand, which we still use, spoiler alert, but it's just trying to find
nothing. They heard nothing.
Yeah, we can edit that out. But just trying to find simple ways to be able to do it without having to spend boatloads of money on all these different programs or all these different features and stuff. Just trying to find, like, sticking with the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. And so just trying to work with audio and just making that simple, and then trying to do video and trying to learn more about the ins and outs of video editing as we go. And so just the biggest thing was just trying to keep it simple, but at the same time bring good quality to the audio as well.
Yeah, man, that's something I learned. I went to a podcast summit, which I never thought I would go to it. I was just like, what? Why not? Let's try it out. Let's expand it. I'm free on that weekend. Let me try it out. Right. And it was really good in-depth stuff that they were talking about with the podcasting realm and like how to really do things. Like, obviously the number one thing everybody's looking at is how you can make money off of these things, how, advertisement and all this, how you can get sponsorships and stuff like that. I know a lot of people got mad. It's like, oh, the brand ambassadorship, I'm not making money off of it. And I was like, if you're not making money off of it, that means you're not putting the effort to sell the product. Right. Like, it's like those things I've told people, like, we're not Hall of Fame athletes and stuff that people are just going to be like, hey, I got a podcast. 1.2 million views, just in the first second that you pull it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we got the same energy, but hey, that's their loss in my way. I just joke about it, but it's like, but I mean, it's just the fact that, the presentation is the biggest key. And like you just said, man, you don't want to spend so much money on these equipment, because I have met countless people that have done it and not even in the podcast world anymore. Like, I remember one guy literally spent, I can't put all his stuff out there, but he spent a heck of an amount of money and literally lasted a month. in the podcast realm, just because he was so burnt out from, the guest perspective, the audiences.
Yeah.
And I always told him, I was like, you got to have an open mind when you do these things, especially the perfect topic, pro wrestling. Everyone's got a perspective to this. So obviously, I got to ask this one. So
all right.
Obviously, what's good is good, but what's bad? What are some of the craziest opinions that you've heard from some of your audience when it comes to some of the stuff that you don't agree with most audiences on?
Honestly, I don't really hear as much from like audience's perspective, but every now and then we'll hear something from someone that has listened to our podcast, and they'll just either say something that is just so outlandish or just in an attempt to just get under our skin. And it's funny to see John's reaction to it because he's very passionate about some of his opinions and things that he talks about. But probably the most outlandish thing that I've heard from someone, and
your child,
I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. Whenever someone says
I said that.
Yeah.
I'm the one that put that.
Yeah, exactly. Like whenever someone tells me like they're not actually hitting each other, right? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, go back and watch. Like, I hate that I'm promoting this because it's doing damage to me. But
Logan sent it. Logan sent it to me. He's like, watch this, bro. I think I'm a chopper now. I said, man, come on.
Yeah.
And then he showed me your chest. I was like, all right, he might have somewhat of a chopper
yeah,
now.
exactly. Like if you go back and look at it, like, and I still got the photo from like the aftermath after it happened. He gave me angel's wings, like one hand right here and the other hand right there. And so I tell people all the time, like, you can't fake some of the stuff that goes on in a ring, like especially getting chopped in the chest or getting hit with a steel chair. And like I said, people can go watch that on our YouTube channel, and they can see me taking a chair shot to the back. And people ask me all the time, "Did you not have padding on your back?" No. I'm like, because every time, like, if you go back and watch the video from me getting hit with the chair, there's like a small crease going down, like a crease going down the back of my shirt, and everybody's like, "You got a padding on your back." I go, "Watch closely." Like, there's no
padding. Don't make the sound that Max did.
Exactly.
And I was shocked. I remember they were saying that you had to take a chair shot, and I've listened to all your episodes, and I remember that y'all did say y'all were going to take a chair shot. And then when I saw the lineup on the card, I felt bad that I wasn't there for that one. Obviously with my son and stuff like that. But I heard there was guys that were picking on who was going to get to give the chair shot. And then I heard a certain individual was going to do it. And I'm like, this is his first chair shot, right?
Yep. 100%.
I'm sure he would pick Jules.
Nope. John made sure that we go with Max. Yeah, we were not getting the most petite guy in the locker room. He was going for the Haas.
He went. I'm surprised he didn't go for Steve. Steve throws a massive chair. I mean, he could swing like him or JoJo.
Yeah.
Him and JoJo, they got some unquestionable strength to them. But yeah, man, you took the chair shot. You took it like a champ. You took it. I mean,
that's what everybody says.
As best as you could.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no good way to take a chair shot. You just got to stand there and just let it happen. And so
I love when you talk to like broadcasting, and even in the past, on Stone Cold taught, I think it was Brian O'Connor or whatever, and he's like, "So how do you take a chair shot?" He's like, "Well, lay here." He's lay yourself all fours, and I'm on to swing. Oh dear gosh! Like, where do you think it's pulled back? Like, obviously, we're not killing the person, but I mean, you can't really not swing this thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you swing it, it's going to impact something.
Exactly. Like, I fully expected him to go full out and just like all the way from the back all the way to the front.
So what was the deal? So obviously he had to hit you in the back. It couldn't be anywhere up here or anything like that. So I did agree that Max was definitely the perfect person to do it. Max probably got a little carried away on it, in my opinion. But hey, he gave a little oomph. He gave a little roughneck into that philosophy. So
yeah, definitely.
He gave you something. I've messaged Max a couple of times. I'm like, hey, Roughneck and Prodigy should be a pretty cool pretty cool picture in the near future. He liked it. He's like, let's go, brother. It's just so funny. But I mean, so I do gotta know. So obviously, you did not know you were taking that chair shot that night, correct?
So we had planned on doing it one night, but we were going to try and do it because originally John was trying so hard to get Kevin Cantrell to be the one to do it, and so I'm not going to say either one would be better or worse, but either one was going to be equally as bad. And so
Cantrell swings a chair like a baseball bat.
Exactly, and so either one would have been just as bad. It was going to hurt either way, but thankfully Kevin had plans outside, and so he wasn't able to make it. And so then John goes over to Max. Yeah, and then John goes over to Max and goes, "Hey, would you be able to do this?" And like, okay, so now we've got somebody that's going to do it. And then we're in the middle of commentary, and then Brandon gets on the mic and says, "So somebody lost a bet." I go, "Wait a minute. This is not happening right now." And then lo and behold, John pulls out the chair. I get escorted over to the ring, and then from there, the rest is history.
So what was going through your mind? Obviously, adrenaline, I think it's not as bad. In reality, when you I tell people all the time, like, man, that adrenaline is a bad drug at times because you don't feel it when that adrenaline's kicking, but when it's like the shows tear down, I joked about it when me and Cole first went back at it, and I joked, I was like, man, I'm not feeling anything. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I haven't been in the ring in a while. I feel shocked. And then when we got so I was just like, I'm gonna help tear down, I feel good. When we got to that ring pole and stuff like that, I'm like, oh,
yeah. Now
I feel it now.
Yep.
Thanks, Cole. And and it was just like, oh, and I still had like a 45-minute drive home, so I was just like, oh.
Yep. See, in my case,
why did I do this again?
Yeah, in my case, it wasn't so much adrenaline; it was mostly fear. And so I was just there, like, I know it's coming. It's just a matter of like, okay, what is it going to feel like? How long is this going to last? Am I going to be able to walk? Am I going to need surgery after this? So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to take it like a champ. I'm just going to do the best I can. And sure enough,
close your eyes and just live and just pray. Feel the pain.
Yep.
Just pray and pray. We're in the perfect venue for it. So it's like, just look after me.
Just like, please. Lord, if it's my time, I've had a good life. It's been fun. I'll see you in a little bit.
5-star jobbers, #1 trade.
Yep.
I love it, man. I love it. So, like I said, man, I even messaged you after I saw the clip. I was like, man, for you to do something like that earns so many guys in the back's respect, because there's so many podcasters that give a wrestling perspective and never knew what the feel is to hit the ropes, be in the ring. You've done all of it. You've hit the ropes.
Yes.
You've bumped as well. Shout out to the Sweat Academy.
Yes, definitely.
Shout out to my brother, Logan Stevens. I can't say nothing but great things about this dude. I always call him my big bro because he's helped me in every possible way. Even though he was not the nicest at Guardians. Just saying.
Yeah, just throwing that out there. But yeah, I mean,
Logan, last time we were there, bro, you weren't nice. Nice. It hurt my feelings.
I mean, Logan has just been so good to me and John and to the podcast, and just giving us opportunities to be able to join them and run the ropes with them in one of our episodes that we did. And because there was a moment in time where I wanted to get into it. I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and I wanted to do all the stuff. And so I went through the training with Logan, and I can't thank him enough for just taking the time to work with me in the short time that I worked with him. And it got to a point where I needed to set my priorities straight, because I was at a point where I couldn't commit to the lifestyle. I couldn't commit to being up and down the road as often as the guys are. And I felt it wasn't fair to him for me to put all this time and energy into something that I'm not even going to be able to go through. And so it was kind of disappointing in a sense that I wasn't able to do it, because I had such a blast doing it. And I still love doing it. Every now and then I'll go and run the ropes with them and just have a good time with it. And so I enjoy just being a part of the wrestling business with the podcast that we have and being able to do commentary. So, because for the longest time, I felt like in order to be a part of the wrestling business, like you had to be in there with the guys, running the ropes, doing all this. And so, but now just seeing the support from all the guys that we've been able to meet at the different shows, and you made mention of like having a lot of respect from the guys in the locker room after taking the chair shot. See, in my mind, I thought that I was just like honoring a bet. Like I thought
like
that
paying your dues, type
yeah.
scenario.
Yeah, just paying my dues. And so just to hear that it got a lot of respect from the people in the back, to see someone like actually go through the process of running the ropes or taking the bumps, taking the chops, taking the chair shots or whichever. And it's just crazy to see the amount of respect. And I don't want to speak for anybody because I'm sure that people have different opinions on it, but it's just crazy to see the like camaraderie and the amount of respect that we've gotten from all the different people that we've gotten to meet at all these different shows.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree. I mean, obviously Logan apparently is now a chopper. I've took all my fair share. So I'll give you a story. I don't know if he's ever told you. If you ever ask him about me, he'll give you the one story of me punching him so much and I apparently messed his earlobe. But that little sucker right there kicked me so bad because there was a rumor about, I'm not going to get too far into it. He might get mad. But Logan was rumored to be the softest hitter in wrestling. And so we went in there.
I guarantee you he's not.
The match we had, which obviously I was the champion at the time. I was supposed to be in the main event with the heavyweight champion at the time. Found out I was not going to be there after I got to the building. Found out that I'm working Logan. Logan found out apparently that I was working him a week and a half ago. So this was the rib for me as well. So me and Logan have never tussled in the ring together. But we've been on shows countless times. We chat for hours and hours. And it was just like, Logan was just like, all right, cool. We're going to have fun. And then I was just looking, I was like, you weren't going to inform me anything? It's like, it's the business, bro. It's the business. Yep. And it was like, so when we get into this match, I'm supposed to be the hot baby face, everything. Logan's a baby face as well, but we're in his town. Don't matter if the USA chant's riding. It don't matter if that American guy's there. Abbeville's boy is there. Logan's there. I turned it in. It went from a 180 from big hot baby face. They popped and everything when the first commentary came on. But then when they said, oh, he's got a competitor, Logan comes out. That thing went from, shoot. Logan took over. And I never would hear the end of it. He's like, how did you feel I was the biggest draw? I said, we were in your home, Logan. Of course you're going to be the draw. And then it was just like, we went a full on, I think we went about 10 to 15, about 12 minutes. And Logan always talked about our match every single time. Obviously the punch. The one spot that we did was where I sat in this chair. Like you're feeling when you had took the chair shot. I'm having to sit in this chair. I'm hearing fans go, kick him out of the chair, get him good. So I'm sitting in this chair, not expected to anything. But here's all I remember. Him being the good brother he is, the good big brother. Well, that's the nicest thing I'm saying about him in that whole spot. He looks at me on the camera and you see him go, I love you, bro. What? I'm in a mask. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, everything is in my head going. I'm like, hold up. What the heck is going on? I'm sitting up like this and I'm just sitting in my head. And I'm like, I got a recorder going in my head. I just hear it like echo. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. And I'm sitting here I see him sitting here hitting his thigh. And I'm like, no, he's not. And I can't not move. I can't do any of this thing because I'm thinking I'm being the good little brother I am. So I'm just sitting here thinking, all right, screw it. I'm going to just fling back and we're going to be all right. So he runs full speed. Fans are in too. So everyone's like dialed in. The camera even zoomed in on this spot. I'm just sitting there like this. Logan goes full speed, stops, chop. And then that was it. Like literally, I'm telling you, I was so relieved. I sold that chop like it was the worst thing in my life. I was just like in so much breath of fresh air. I was like, oh my gosh. I was having an anxiety attack because I never took that spot yet. And I'm just sitting here and it's just like in my head's like, I love you. I love you. I love you. What are you about to do?
It's just like as he's running towards you, starting to see the white light.
You're a baby face, right? Rey Mysterio, chill out. Like literally, I knew how him and someone, because I always ask them, I said, who did y'all watch before the show or whatever? You know, during the week they watched their certain wrestlers and they would kind of like imitate it. Logan was talking about I think it was something with Billy Gunn and I think Billy Kidman. And then I knew something was about to happen when he said I watched Billy Kidman. I'm like, please not the chair spot.
Yeah.
That's all I asked. And then when I'm just sitting here and I'm sitting here hearing this, I'm like, hold up, what? And like when he hit me, I was just like, oh, thank gosh. He pulled me in the ring. He's like, got you, bro. Like it just kept like we had so much fun with it, but it was just like that's the one thing I will never forget. And we've had like I think we just did our 4th match together.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we've had 4 matches. I've only done 1 match since I came back with him. We did it at Guardian. Shout out to Skip and them. It was an absolute blast there. I can't say nothing but great things about that show. It's pretty cool to come out to the pyro and stuff like that, and and it was not super hot because that was my biggest worry. I come out, I'm like, hold up, man, I got a mask on. I only can see so much. Where's this gonna shoot up in my face?
Exactly.
He's like, oh, it's cold. Don't worry, it's all good.
Yeah.
But it was like so cool. But I mean, it was so much fun, and obviously, it's so good to see what Logan's doing. Not too big of a fan of who he is now, but I'm not saying nothing else. But other than that, that's my Logan Stevens story. But yeah, man, definitely what you're doing with the podcast, you and John. I love what y'all bring because obviously I always talk about it, man. Controversy builds ratings. Like literally, I hate the ones that just always agree. But y'all bring that if like it's okay for y'all to agree, but y'all are about to turn a 180 on what y'all don't agree on. Like John is more strictly pro wrestling. You're more in that I like the entertainment, I like the theatrics, I like the character. Right. John's more of I like the grapple, I like the submissions, I like the long distance runs, they can go and all this. Like I like those, but and sometimes it drags me out sometimes, and I've learned in so many ways. I want to get your perspective on it. So obviously, if you have 2 parties and you're trying to get into pro wrestling, who would you want the knowledge from? The best in-ring performer, the best pro wrestler of all time, be the one to give you the advice, or the guy that literally is on T-shirts, on the lunch boxes, all over the world, like presented as the number one selling guy in the biggest promotion? Which one would you take the most advice from? Would you take it from the performer, or flat out the one that's literally the big time performer as well?
See, and this can kind of go both ways, because I mean, you can look at it from different perspectives. I mean, I would love to hear from both individuals, honestly, because I mean, you've got 2 different sides. You can either hear from the professional wrestler, or you can hear from the entertainer, and each one has their own intrinsic value to the product. And so it's kind of hard to pick one or the other for me. I mean, like I said, I focus a lot more on the entertainment side of things, just because I want to be entertained, but at the same time, I also want to see a little bit of both. And that's how it is with any show. Like, you want to see the guys that are there for entertainment. You want to see the guys that are there for just like pure wrestling, like submission, grappling, everything. You got your like death match guys, and then you've got like a little bit of everything. And so for me, it's hard to decide between the 2. I like both. I don't know if that's a cop-out answer.
No, your opinion's fine. I want to know what that purpose, because what I'm trying to present with that is, we do always joke about build the perfect wrestler. Obviously, you got the guy that's the in-ring performer. That's the ones that usually are the enhancement talent, the ones that help showcase to make the entertainer look like the stunt double, like I used to call it, was the stunt double is the main one that can move in the ring, do all that. But entertainment perspective is kind of not there. Obviously, you know, with the entertainment guy, people are going to be more dialed into him because he has more of a personality. They can relate to it, the character build, all that. But maybe, obviously, he's only got like a certain amount of number of moves. I mean, obviously, this generation of wrestling now, it's more, hey, who can go the distance? If you could put a 56-minute clock on, who's going further? You know, like
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, no.
No.
It's fun, but no.
Right. See, and there's
I
like
wanna
different ways you
enjoy
can see, and there's different perspectives on like because a lot of the things that I don't like so much is like you got someone that's very entertaining, and like you said, they do a great job on the mic and everything, but in the ring, they've got maybe one or two moves that they do, and then everything else is just kind of a botch from there.
Right.
But then you've also got your in-ring performers that are like phenomenal in the ring that can tell a story, like do a great job with all the like submissions and holds and everything. But when they get on the mic, it's just like nothing about what you just said makes me want to invest in what you're about to do. And so it's kind of
I want the story told to me why you're doing that move.
exactly. I want both. Like I want you to be able to tell the story on the mic, but also tell it in the ring.
Right. It's easy to follow. And that's something I always talked about. I use the reference all the time, my man. I want to see a tennis match. I don't want to see ping pong. Boom, boom. The small ball. And you have to focus on that. And I feel like that's what a lot of this wrestling is now, which is fine if that's what you like. But I need the storytelling. I need the character build. Like that is what pro wrestling is. When we talk about pro wrestling,
Yes.
and I used to get mad about it, but it is a predetermined sport. It is what quote unquote fake, but you know, but also you've got to make it understand is pro wrestling is like a fictional thing that you're putting two peoples into that stage. What are they going to do to invest you in to keep continuing to come? What are they going to do to help invest that?
Yeah, I always liken to when Paul Heyman would talk about just being able to sell two individuals at a premium live event. It's a very simple process. He goes, who are these two people? Why are they fighting? Why should I care enough to buy a ticket to see these guys fight for like X amount of dollars for a premium live event? Why should I spend all this money just to watch this? Exactly. And that's the thing that AEW, and we talked about this in our podcast, in our most recent episode, I think, AEW just lacks with the storylines. Like they can put on some great matches. Like they've been able to put Kenny Omega in some great matches. They've now got Will Ospreay doing a phenomenal job. Bryan Danielson with who's the New Japan star that he just wrestled on Collision? Katsuyori Shibata, or I may have just messed that up, but Shibata. Like great match, but there's no substance behind it. It's like, okay, we got this great match. Now what? Like, where do you go from here?
That's how I look at so much things where they talk about AEW's pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I was like, entertainment and pro wrestling is the same. Like,
Yeah.
You have to have the entertainment to introduce into the pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's something I try to preach so many times to people when they talk about I've had like that's a bunch of, and they've even said it. Paul Heyman said it, you know, hey, I've had a bunch of Neanderthals. What can I do to get people to care about these guys and watch them? They got to be characters, and they're gonna have to beat the living piss out of you people. Like it's exactly. Like, and obviously you saw how long that lasted. You can only hit so many glass in every other week to continue that sport. So obviously, you know, a longevity span. I say you need those secondary. You need those special moments, and I've learned that, especially being in wrestling. I've learned I'd rather have the moments than obviously anybody remember my matches. Those are the ones that people talk about, people trend on and all that. I mean, we knock on it so much, but right now, man, WWE, you can't exaggerate no more.
No. I mean, they're killing it right now. I mean, they're doing a great job. I mean, and it's a lot of people don't want to say sports entertainment, but that's what you need to have. It is pretty much sports and entertainment. mean, you've got professional wrestling, you got guys that are just going head to head and just giving it all they've got. But at the same time, you got to have an entertainment aspect behind it. You can't just have like 2 matches and then just let it be that. And it's different for everybody. Everybody has their own likes and their dislikes, but that's just the way that I look at it. I like to look at it because I want to be entertained, but I also want to see a good match.
I don't think that's too much to ask. Like,
No.
guys, oh man, I get so much flack for it. The Darby Allin match.
Yeah, I've got my own personal opinion.
I sat here and said numerous times, man, that should have been about Sting.
Yes.
That's just my opinion. I get it. He gave everything on it, but man, you needed the falls that more was memorable for Sting.
Exactly.
Obviously, and like Sting even said in the press conference, man, I even took a bump in the glass table. I even done these things. And we're like, and those are the things that you have to pick those moments and go, maybe, but I shouldn't have done it that night, even though that I want to do.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, it's just the fact that, I feel like some of those growing pains, I mean, obviously they're growing.
Yeah.
But only time will tell. But, Kody, I hate to say that this is almost the wrap-up time to maybe even have John on sometime. But, Kody, man, is there anything you want to say before we follow out? Guys, check out the 5-Star Podcast. They are entertaining as can be. They have interviews on. They have great debates. That's something I do love about y'all stuff is the debates are very good. And I'm not just saying it as a marked debate type scenario. Like y'all give some very good perspectives. Like John, like I said, he's a pro wrestling guy, but he's into that old school style type of wrestling. Like when he talks about the 80s and stuff like that. A lot of people I talk about when I quiz them about pro wrestling, I said, man, when I got in pro wrestling, I watched Tim Horner. I watched Brad Armstrong. I watched those type of guys that make my character and stuff like that. Now it's hard to adapt that moveset into a character now in the 2024 eras and stuff. Like everything is 90-second squaffles as much as you want, but it's like but it's a cool transition of what you and John bring into a wrestling podcast out of all things. But y'all not only bring the entertainment factor, but y'all also got some good knowledge and y'all both learn from each other's debates. Y'all don't like, I disagree, whatever. Like y'all educate each other like a show and tell. Hey, this is why I like this. This is why you like this. Oh, I can understand that, but I like this. Like it's just like, and you're not throwing hands at each other and stuff like that.
No, because John knows that he would lose in that battle. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's gonna see this and be like, "Oh, you want to find out?" No,
you could be like, "Hey, I took a nipple wax and I took a chair shot. Who's winning what?"
Exactly. No, don't give him any ideas because our next predictions episode won't be far off. WrestleMania is right around the corner, and I'm sure he's probably picking his brain
for that one. I think before we finish, I think the only craziest thing about WrestleMania is you can't really predict the show. No. You can, but it's scary because it could go both parties. Obviously, the main event. My mind is going. I'm a rock fan. I'm a diehard rock fan, but man, I gotta say it. I guess I'm one of the crybabies. I'm not even
exactly. I'm the same way. But then, like everything that's transpiring now, it's so hard to give a definite answer as to how it's going to go, which is going to make our predictions episode even that much harder to go through. And so as the weeks progress and as we get closer to WrestleMania, hopefully we'll get a little bit more of a definite idea for how our predictions are going to go, but it's hard to say right now.
It's scary, man. It's scary. But, man, Kody, is there anything you want to finish on, man? Guys, like I said, follow his links below. Go to their YouTube channel. Go check them out on Spotify, on all audio platforms as well. But here's the floor, man, to you.
Well, I just want to say thank you again for letting me be here. Guys, if y'all want to check us out, we're on all streaming platforms. Like you said, we're on Apple products. We're on Spotify. Every streaming platform you could think of. We're also on social media at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can find us at the 5-Star Jobbers. You can also find me on there as well. You can go to @Kody5Star. That's the number 5. Kody number 5-Star. And we're just excited for all these different events. We're going to be at Kraken Pro Wrestling on March 30th doing commentary for their event. I'm going to be in Hanceville, Alabama on April 6th at Championship Wrestling doing ring announcing for them. I'm excited about that. And also April 20th, we'll be at DCCW Unbroken doing commentary for that event. So a lot going on, and it's going to be exciting. I hope to see all you there.
I will be at the Unbroken show. I promised them that I'll be there for sure. All right, man. Thank you for doing this, man. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I do got to finish up on this, though. I listened to your episode about how Sam came up with the idea of Kraken. That is not true. Jay beat a Kraken to get that name. It's been shown. We just got to get the footage. Jay told me he's got the footage. We got to find it. Him and Sam went. Him and Hold My Beer Hansen, which I still tell Jay he needed to put the location in his Google Maps. All he had to do was just put the location. He had been okay, but somehow they went to go look for Huck. He found a Kraken. He fought the Kraken for 20 long minutes. So that's how he got it, and I feel like that's how he got the main event. But, hey, definitely check out Kraken Pro Wrestling, guys. They're a great, great organization. There's something growth. The main thing I talk about with Kraken Pro, they're doing everything. The street team, everything. If you want to be involved with them, get a tag with Sam Skaggs. Shout out to my good buddy Sam. But yes, man, Kody, thank you for doing this, guys. Like I said, check out the 5-Star Jobbers podcast. They are killing it, man. They are on the verge of that 200 subscribers. Help them out. Get them there. Let's buff them up. Let's beat it up. But, guys, this is another great episode of Buzzing with Marlowe and the one, the only Kody Madden. And we will see y'all later.